The rain fell in steady sheets against the apartment building's windows, each drop catching the amber glow of the streetlights below. Marcus stood in the dimly lit hallway, his 6-month-old daughter Emma crying softly in his arms. Her fever had spiked again, and despite his best efforts with cool washcloths and gentle rocking, nothing seemed to help. He had been pacing his apartment for hours, watching the clock tick past midnight, then 1, then 2. Emma's pediatrician had said to call if her temperature reached 103 degrees. When the thermometer beeped at 103.2, Marcus knew he couldn't wait until morning. The problem was his phone, dead, completely dead. In his exhaustion and worry, he had forgotten to charge it after a long day at the construction site. Now, at 3 in the morning, he found himself standing in the hallway of his apartment building, desperately trying to remember which door belonged to Mrs. Chen, the elderly woman who had always been kind to him, and Emma. Marcus had moved into apartment 4B just 8 months ago, shortly after Emma was born, and her mother decided she wasn't ready for the responsibility of parenthood. The building had become his refuge, a place where he could focus on being the father Emma deserved. Mrs. Chen lived somewhere on this floor, he was certain. She had mentioned it when they met in the lobby last week. Was it 4D or 4F? In his panic and exhaustion, the numbers seemed to blur together. Emma's cries grew more urgent, and Marcus felt his heart racing. He had to make a choice. He walked to 4D and knocked softly, not wanting to disturb other residents, but desperate enough to risk it. No answer. He waited 30 seconds, that felt like 30 minutes, then knocked again, slightly louder. Still nothing. Moving down the hall, Marcus approached 4F. The door was painted the same neutral beige as all the others, with a small brass number that gleamed dully in the fluorescent hallway light. He knocked 3 gentle taps, then waited. Footsteps approached from inside. Marcus heard the soft sound of someone moving carefully toward the door, then the quiet click of locks being undone. 1, 2, 3. The door opened slowly, revealing a woman with golden hair that caught the warm light spilling from her apartment. She looked to be in her early 30s, wearing a soft gray cardigan over comfortable clothes. Her eyes, a warm hazel, immediately focused on Emma in Marcus's arms. There was something in her expression that Marcus couldn't quite place. Not surprise, exactly. More like recognition, as if she had been expecting this moment. "I'm so sorry to bother you," Marcus began, his voice rough with worry and exhaustion. "I live in 4B, and my daughter has a high fever. My phone is dead, and I was looking for Mrs. Chen to ask if I could use her phone to call the pediatrician. I thought she lived in 4D, but no one answered, and I wasn't sure which apartment." The woman stepped back, opening her door wider. "Please, come in," she said softly. Her voice carried a gentle certainty that immediately put Marcus at ease. "I'm Sarah, and I think I can help you." Marcus hesitated for just a moment, then stepped into the apartment. The space was warm and inviting, with soft lighting and the lingering scent of chamomile tea. Sarah closed the door behind them and immediately turned her attention to Emma. "How long has she had the fever?" Sarah asked, moving toward a small table where a cordless phone sat next to a stack of medical journals. "Since this afternoon," Marcus replied, gently bouncing Emma as she continued to fuss. "It's been climbing all evening. I'm probably overreacting, but she's only 6 months old, and you're not overreacting," Sarah said firmly. She picked up the phone and held it out to him. A father's instincts are usually right. "What's your pediatrician's number?" As Marcus dialed, he noticed details about Sarah's apartment that struck him as unusual for 3 in the morning. She was fully dressed, not in pajamas or a robe as he might have expected. There was an open book on her coffee table, a mug of tea still steaming nearby. It was as if she had been waiting for something. The pediatrician's answering service connected him to the on-call doctor, who listened to Marcus describe Emma's symptoms and recommended bringing her to the emergency room as a precaution. Marcus felt his chest tighten with worry, but also relief at having a clear course of action. "Thank you," he said to Sarah as he hung up the phone. "I need to get her to the hospital. I'm sorry for waking you up." Sarah looked at him with those warm hazel eyes, and Marcus saw something shift in her expression. "Marcus," she said quietly, "I wasn't asleep, and this isn't the wrong door." He stared at her, confused. "I don't understand." Sarah moved to a bookshelf and pulled out a small photo album. She opened it to a page near the front and held it out to him. Marcus looked down at a photograph of a much younger Sarah standing next to a tall man with dark hair and kind eyes. The man looked remarkably like Marcus. "This is David," Sarah said softly. "We were engaged. He was deployed overseas in 1998, and we were planning to marry when he came home." Her voice remained steady, but Marcus could hear the emotion beneath the surface. "He never made it back. But before he left, he made me promise something. He said that someday, someone would need help. The way we had needed help when we were young and scared and didn't know what we were doing. He made me promise to be ready." Marcus felt something shift inside his chest, a recognition that went deeper than logic or reason. "I've lived in this apartment for 26 years," Sarah continued. I became a pediatric nurse. I keep my phone charged, my door unlocked, and I wait. David used to say that the universe has a way of bringing the right people together at the right time. Emma's crying had gradually subsided as they talked, and now she rested more peacefully in Marcus's arms, her fever seeming to break slightly. "I'll drive you both to the hospital," Sarah said, already reaching for her keys and a light jacket. "My car is parked right outside." As they prepared to leave, Marcus realized that this moment felt like the answer to prayers he hadn't even known. He was praying. He had spent 8 months trying to navigate fatherhood alone, convinced that asking for help was a sign of weakness or failure. "Sarah," he said as she locked her apartment door behind them, "why are you doing this?" She smiled, and in that smile, Marcus saw years of patience, hope, and purpose. "Because sometimes the wrong door is exactly the right door," she said, "and because I've been waiting since 1998 for someone who needed what I had to give." As they walked down the hallway together, Emma sleeping peacefully in Marcus's arms, he understood that some meetings are written in the stars long before they happen, waiting patiently for the perfect moment to unfold.